Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 88th Rome Total War Brotherhood battle that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Talos, who has bought the Rome Julii faction. And then we have Brotherhood member Conan, who I think you all probably know by now is one of the co-founders of the Brotherhood back in January 2005. And myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Macedon faction. This is another kind of experimental army that I'm trying out for this battle, and it'll be interesting to see how well it does. So that's our team there. Quite a lot of experience there. What I thought we'd do at this stage of the battle is have a look at Conan's army. Some of you may notice that he has bought 4 archer units, which is quite a lot for a 31k battle. But I think the reason that he's bought that is because he knows that I've actually bought a Macedon army, and as some of you may know, the Macedon pikemen are very susceptible to archer damage. And I think we're anticipating that the enemy are going to bring a lot of archers, so that's why he's bought 4 units there. Plus, if you notice, he's got cavalry behind them to cover them if they're attacked by cavalry units, enemy cavalry units. If you notice here, he's only got 11 infantry. But if you look a little bit closer at his infantry units, you'll see that they've all got really good upgrades. Can you see that? I think they've got 7 upgrades, so that's a stripe, gold. Now that stripe will make a big difference. So although he's only got 11 infantry there, with the upgrades he's got on them, I think that's going to make them quite a bit of difference in the battle. So it'll be interesting to see how well we do here against 3 really good players. As I say, he's bought the 4 archers there to give me additional cover from enemy archer fire. Yeah, it should be a great battle to watch. At this early stage of the battle, I thought we would just have a look at my experimental Macedon army here. I built this army specifically just to take on the Greek cities. So it's a pretty tough army here, consisting of all pikemen and archers, no cavalry in this army. As you can see, by looking closely, you can see that my pikemen have got very good upgrades on. I've got a mixture of upgrades with the pikemen, and I've put the different units in different places in that formation too, just to see how it works. As I say, it's all experimental at the moment. As you see, I've got 4 units of Cretan archers. As you all know, Cretan archers have got long range and do a lot of damage. And as the pikemen are so susceptible to archer damage, it's good to have archer cover yourself. At this very early stage of the battle, the action's happening so fast that I haven't even had time to introduce the enemy team yet. As you see, Conan's firing his archers, brought his archers forward there to try and hit the moving enemy troops. As you see, Conan's took his cavalry general over there to attack the enemy archers. That was a nice little hit by Conan's cavalry there. I think he's caused a lot of casualties on the enemy archer unit that he hit there. But if you notice, his general now has routed, but I'm pretty sure that his general will rally, because they usually do. As you can see there, his archers now are being attacked by the enemy SBQR cavalry there. But if you notice, Conan's running his infantry forward now to cover his archers there. A very aggressive start from Conan here on our left flank. But that's very much Conan's style of play, aggression, keep the enemy on the back foot. For new players watching this, that's always a pretty good thing to do. Keep your enemy guessing what you're doing and keeping them moving to how you're moving, and not the other way round. That was a nice aggressive move there by Conan, and I think he's caused the enemy a lot of archer casualties there. At this stage of the battle, I've decided to pause the game so I can introduce the enemy team to you. Here we have Heaven's Mohammed, who has bought the Rome SBQR faction. And then we have Heaven's Lucius, who has bought the Greek Cities faction. And then we have OTD Copsman, who has bought the Rome Brutii faction. So that's the other team there. Just like to apologise for not being able to introduce them sooner, but as you can see, the action started so fast I didn't get a chance. At this stage of the battle, you can see we've kind of entered the Archer War, or Archer Battle stage of the battle here. This is where obviously archers from both teams are trying to kill each other, and what they would like to do is to kill our archers off, so that would kind of give them free rein then to be able to shoot my Macedon pikemen. So that would be their intention there, is to use their I think they've got archer superiority in this battle, so we're going to have to be careful here. As you all know, as I explained earlier, my pikemen are very susceptible to archer damage, so it's very important that I keep my pikemen as out of range for as long as I can here. As you can see, our archers are doing really good against theirs, and Conan's bought a good job. He bought his 4 archers, and as you can see that Talos has bought archers too. But I think what I've counted of their archers, they do outnumber us quite a lot here. As you can see, the Greek city general there had sent in a general cavalry unit there to attack our archers. That was a nice little move by the Greek city's general there, and caused me quite a few casualties. At this stage of the battle, I thought I'd show any new players. When people are some of your units are killed by fire arrows, can you see that you can see amongst the dead there, some of my archers are actually all black. That's where they've actually been burnt to death by fire arrows. So if you look closely, you can see that the rest of the archers there have been killed by ordinary arrows, but the ones that are black have been burnt by the fire arrows there. Just something interesting for any new players watching this. At this stage of the battle, you can see that our teammate Talos here on our right flank is moving on a right flanking action here round the enemy Brutii infantry's flank. You can see that the enemy Brutii cavalry has pulled out well to our right flank, but if you notice that Talos is taking his cavalry into the 3 enemy cavalry units that are just stood there on the flank, and bang, Talos units hit them. It wouldn't surprise me if those 3 units started to rout. Those 3 enemy units started to rout pretty quickly there. As you can see, the enemy Brutii general has spotted what Talos has done and is bringing over even more cavalry to attack Talos's cavalry there. But if you notice that Talos is now bringing over infantry units as well to support his cavalry, and that the enemy Brutii infantry are a long way away from this particular part of the battlefield. So with Talos bringing his infantry over plus his cavalry there as well, I would think that the Brutii cavalry would rout pretty quickly there. Here's a rather panoramic view of the battlefield so you can see what's happening. And here you can see my massed Macedon pikes moving slowly forward. I tend to think that when I've got these pikes in such a massed formation, when they move forward, it's a little bit like a steamroller. They kind of just seem to steamroller whatever they hit there, and that's what they seem to be doing at the moment there in the centre. As you can see, Conan's moved out to the far left there, doing a flanking action there on the enemy SBQR infantry. Nice little move once again. Conan showing his aggression and his battlefield awareness there, hoping to turn the enemy flank. Nice move there by Conan. As you can see, my Macedon units are moving forward and starting to rout the Greek city units that were in front of them. And meanwhile, over on our right, you can see that Talos's Julii army is fiercely engaged with the enemy Brutii. If you can see that Talos is just charging his cavalry in, bang, did you see those Brutii units start to rout there? I think, just looking at this, I think on our right flank things are looking pretty good for us here. Looking not too bad. At this stage of the battle, can you see that I've actually split my Macedon army? I'm sending some units over to help Talos on the right flank, because I've spotted that the enemy Brutii general has his back to me and his unit is engaged. So if you notice, I'm going to charge my infantry in without their pikes down at the moment, just charge them in with a sword attack, okay, onto the back of that enemy Brutii general. But it's not routing him. So now, if you notice, I've put the pikes down. So now, hopefully, with their pikes down, they'll penetrate deep into that enemy Brutii general, and there you go, he's routed. You see, sometimes using Macedon without their pikes down can cause a rout of units, but sometimes if it doesn't, it's always best to put your pikes down, because they've got a really good penetration then into the enemy units with their pikes down. So by looks of it, on our right flank there, we've been victorious there. But over on our left, if you notice that Conan now is, I suppose you could say, he's a little bit isolated there, fighting the enemy SBQR Roman army, plus some of the enemy Greek cities units are up against him as well there. But he's done very well because he's kind of been occupying them, leaving Talos and myself to be able to deal with the enemy Brutii on the other flank. So once again, it's a nice tactical move there by Conan. But as I say now, as you can see, he is a little bit isolated there. But the plan has worked really. It's given us time to be able to beat the enemy Brutii army on the other side. As you can see now, I'm running my pikemen over, and Talos is running his infantry over there to try and get to Conan as soon as we can. As you can see, Conan now is got his back of his forces towards the back of the map there, so the enemy SBQR infantry that are fighting him have their backs to us. So what I'm thinking is, if I can charge into the back of them with my my pikemen, we might be able to get a few of those units to rout. If you notice, our Greek city's ally though has turned a couple of the Spartan units outwards to cover his allies' rear there, which was a nice little move by the enemy Greek city's general there. As you can see, the enemy SBQR cavalry has just charged in there and have routed one of Conan's Julii units there. Let's say Conan's doing extremely well here to be able to hold. But do you remember the upgrades you saw in his infantry at the beginning there? That stripe, gold, gold. That's why his infantry's being able to hold so well there. That stripe really makes a difference on the upgrades. If you notice, we're running both Talos and myself are running our infantry round to help. If you notice, Talos is coming around the flank of the enemy SBQR infantry there. Nice little move there by Talos. And if you notice, I'm moving my pikemen forward now in kind of a bit of a mass pike hit here, relying on their long pikes and the mass of the formation here as I move forward. As I say, the only reason I bought this Macedon army was to take on the Greek cities, because I think if you've got a good pike army, it's really good to take the Greek cities on with that pike army rather than with maybe with Rome, because I think pikes against Greek cities can be extremely effective. Now, if you notice there, my massive pike army is now moving forward slowly into the rear of the enemy SBQR infantry there. There's a close-up of the if you notice the weight and the mass of that Macedon formation just moving forward into the SBQR infantry there. It's like a vice really, because if you notice, it's like, if you like, it's like that hammer and anvil attack there. If you notice that Talos' infantry is the anvil and my mass pikemen are like the hammer there, and I would think that SBQR infantry will start to rout pretty soon. If you notice, there are units already starting to rout. If you notice now, Talos is attacking with his infantry and cavalry as well, so there's a big massive attack going in on that enemy SBQR infantry there, and actually they're holding quite well. I was quite expecting them to have broken by now, but I wouldn't think they'll be able to hold for much longer. There's a close-up there of the actual battle. If you notice that big mass formation of my pikemen just pushing forward, it's kind of like the weight and those massively long pikes all pushing forward onto that SBQR army with Talos' infantry pressing as well. There you go, and although the enemy SBQR army held well there, I think really, to be honest, it was only a matter of time before they actually routed there.
This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle it is beyond belief.
If you notice, all the time my pikemen are being hit by fire arrows from the enemy archers, shooting fire arrows into the back of my pikemen here, causing great casualties, and of course fire does cause panic amongst troops as well. And here's a close-up of the Macedon pikemen fighting the Spartans there. If you notice how long the Macedon pikes are in comparison to the Spartans' pikes, but also how many men I've actually got there, the weight of, if you like, of the Macedonian force moving forward there.
Victory. The enemy fought well, but not well enough.
So that was a pretty great battle to be in there. And as I say, that was an experimental Macedon army of mine, so it didn't do too badly there. I was quite pleased the way it did. I'd just like to say really well played to the other team there. I thought they played extremely well. I thought the Greek cities general there did well. If you notice, he's got extremely high kills there. And if you notice that my kills are not that good, but my aim there was really just to blunt the Greek cities and to try and kill as many of them as I could before they could turn onto my Roman allies. So I think that tactic worked well. Like I say, really well played to my team. Nice aggressive work there by Conan, and really great attacking work there by Talos as well. I thought our team played really well there, and really well played to the other team too. Some great moves there. This is Spartan Commander saying, hope you enjoyed the battle, and see you soon.